Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. So I know it's been a while, but I actually have a battle report. I was actually contacted through my Facebook page. A guy was visiting the States from Sweden and just want to know if I wanted to get in a game. We talked about whether we should play Warhammer Fantasy 8th Edition or possibly the 9th Age. And we were both unclear on both sets of rules because it's been so long. So we decided just to play 8th Edition and then just not worry about particulars of the rules and just try to have fun with it. So decided on 2,500 points. He came up with his Beastmen list. We were restricted to these two armies because they're the only armies I currently have access to. I just went online and Googled 8th edition Bretonnian list, and this is the only one I could find for 2,500 points, and it looked fun enough. So yeah, we were good with it. So overall, the board looks like this. Let me go through his list starting from right and go into left. So he's got a unit of 5 raiders. That Bull Taurus model is actually just a Razorgore. Then there's another Razorgore in that little patch of woods, followed by some more raiders, a chariot. Then he's got his block of Bestigore with a chariot on the other side of him. And in here, he's got his general. So this dude has a 2-up rerollable armor save. He's got the +1 or -1 armor save weapon. And then he's got the for every armor save he makes, he gets an attack back on you. So fantastic against low strength, lots of attacks. Not quite as good against armor, but against knights. But that unit he's with is just a big unit of can openers. So they're definitely a good counter to all of my knights. Anyway, so there in the back top right, he's got a unit of, I'm calling them conscripts. They were supposed to be Ungor, but I just didn't have those models, so I figured they were rampaging through the Bretonnian countryside, picked up a group of peasants and said, fight with us or die, and they decided to fight with them. In there with them, he's got 2 level 1 shamans. One has beast, one has shadow, one has a spell scroll, the other one has the herdstone, which is that piece of terrain just directly in front of him. If you look at the top, he's got 2 units of 5, looks like skeletons. That's because, again, I don't have that many Ungor models. They'll be ambushing. Then he's got his big block of Gores. I don't remember if they're extra hand weapon or not, whatever. In with them, he's got his battle standard bearer rocking the beast banners. These guys at strength 4 are a nightmare for my knight. So he's got, his characters aren't concerning me too much, but his units concern me greatly. And by the way, his general makes that unit stubborn. So even if I go in and kill a bunch, they're going to stick around. He's got a level 4 shaman rocking the lore of death. Let's see, another chariot, another Razorgore, and then a unit of harpies. Bretonnia, I've got some archers on the very, very far right, another set of archers, and my trebuchet. There's only so much I can do to protect my trebuchet. And I go into this game thinking that I just want my archers out of the way of my knights, and they can be over here, and if they can just plink wounds or do whatever, I'm fine with it. All right, so I've got a unit of knights errant on the right. Interestingly enough, they were given the +1 leadership banner. I thought it was really interesting because normally the general's right by them. Normally you'd give the general, his unit, that banner, and the general I don't think you'd put into a unit of knights errant. But I guess my guess is they designed this unit to be able to go off on its own a little bit. So I thought that was interesting, and we decided, I just didn't change the list. That's fine. There's a level 1 damsel of beast, and she's got the terrifying mask of E, so that unit causes terror, which I thought was another interesting thing. So now, if I charge things on the periphery outside of leadership and reroll, it's forcing terror tests, and plus this unit is immune to terror because something in the unit causes it. So I thought that was an interesting build. I don't have my list in front of me, I'm going by memory, but I decided to take the general and put him out of any units because my opponent doesn't have any shooting that I'm worried about. And it just kind of gives me more options. Well, I know that he has heroic killing blow, and after that, I don't remember because nothing else matters. This dude, if he rolls a 6 to wound, he's causing some damage. Then we've got my unit of Knights of the Realm. This is an interesting build too. This is really going on combat res. So when this unit gets in combat, they've got the +1 combat res banner. There's a damsel in there with the Lore of Beast, and they have the thing that makes a unit -1 to hit, and all terrain is dangerous terrain, and you fail on a 1 or 2. Curse of Honor here. And they've got +1 strength and toughness. Then there's the BSB, and he's got the Virtue with +1 combat res. So when this unit gets into combat, before they take casualties, they've got 3 ranks, a banner, and that banner causes an extra combat res. Then they got a BSB, and the BSB causes an extra combat res. So they start with a static 7, which is just really nice, except my opponent has a general who's stubborn, and so it all is for naught. But otherwise, this unit is designed to go in there and break things just through combat res. Anyway, then there's the Grail Reliquary. Nobody in 8th used that unit. I love it. I love that it's there. And it's been a long time since I pulled these toys out. All right, so then I've got a unit of 9 Grail Knights. They've got the 1 free reroll. Then I've got a Paladin, and again, I think he was supposed to go in with the Knights Errant. I decided to pull him out and just use him as a bit of just like another small unit. His big thing is he's defensively built. I remember he had a +1 rerollable armor save, and I know he has a Morning Star. After that, I don't remember if he had anything. Some more Peasant Archers, another Trebuchet, another Peasant Archers, and then the Green Knight. I love that's the only list I could find, and he's using the Green Knight, which I thought was fantastic. I'm not sure I've used him before, and if I have, I haven't used him much, so kind of excited about that. All right, so of course, being Bretonnian, I never get to go first, so the beasts go. They move up, as you can see. Here's the far left, those harpies hiding behind a building, trying not to get shot. And these are just some close-up pics I took while I was waiting. I actually like that picture a lot. Close-up of the general. And, you know, during the magic phase, I think he tried some things, nothing happened. He had no shooting, you know, nothing going on. So we go to Bretonnia turn 1. I decided to keep the my knight units back. I'm moving the infantry forward a little bit just because I'd really like to get the Grail Reliquary tied up with his Bestigor and just try to chew through as many wounds as possible. I know that I'm going to lose that eventually, but you know, that's a throwaway unit for me. Anyway, overall looks like that. We go to the magic phase. Nothing of significance happens. We go to the shooting phase, and I drop a rock on these bad boys and kill however many. Kill enough to cause a panic test. You know, they're still tough, but that's certainly a lot of wounds I don't have to chew through in combat, so that's nice. And then on the left, 2 little units of archers picked on this Razor Gore and killed him. Needing 6s to wound, I felt that was pretty lucky on my part, but I'll take it. All right, we go to Beast turn 2, and he moves up very, very aggressively. He moves up so aggressively that he's really just begging me to charge him. I could probably charge the Grail Reliquary into a chariot or into the unit on the left and take 3 units of knights and or my general into his main unit. I mean, he's just really, really aggressive on that right side. I was, wasn't sure if he was trying to lure me into something or if he was just really confident in those units. Over in the left, his harpies are threatening my trebuchet. Over in the right, yeah, this Razor Gore. So if you remember, I have 2 units of archers on the right. So this is my leftmost unit. Razor Gore charges. They do a stand and shoot, don't do any wounds through, and he fails the charge, which I thought was great. Here on the right, I did get 1 wound through on the stand and shoot, but he makes the charge, so that wound's not going to mean much. These guys are just going to die. And then his 2 ambushing units come on, and 1 unit comes on the right side of the board, comes up right here. So that's great for him. He can bring him in turn 2, charge him turn 3. The other unit I got to choose, and so I put him on his back lines. That's why when I played Beastmen in 8th, I just never ambushed anything. I hated the randomness I didn't like. So let's see, I think this is the Purple Sun. He casts that template out, and he's shooting at my Grail Knights. I figured these guys are initiative 5. Even if it hits them, I shouldn't lose too many. I let it go, and it just goes wah, wah, wah. It goes like 4 inches forward and just sits there. So, whatever. He's also debuffing this unit, so he's looking at possibly getting this multiple charge, and so he lowered this unit's, I believe, weapon skill by 2, and I just let it go because I don't care. That wasn't my plan. After combat, the Razor Gore easily kills the unit of peasants. They run off the board, and we go to Bretonnia turn 2. So this is where I decided not to triple charge or do anything funky, but just to be patient. And really for a couple reasons. One, I think the charge would have worked, but if I would have failed something and then just whiffed in combat, things could have gone south in a hurry, and then I would have lost the game, and so why force it when I didn't need to? And secondly, if it did work, it's only turn 2, and the game would in essence be over on turn 2, and that doesn't sound like fun either. So I decided just to try to be patient with my strategy. And this is what I'd like to do more in tournaments, but I can't because too many times in tournaments you just don't get through all 6 turns. Anyway, on the right, my unit charges a unit of Ungors, and they either fail their terror test or they choose to flee. Either way, they flee. I redirect into the Razor Gore. It looks like that. So my plan is to kill him and then panic that unit of Ungors on the right off the board. My general charges a chariot. Yeah, I guess my only plan there is if I don't kill it, I'm going to reform just to make sure they can't see me. I don't want to get countercharged. Here on the left, this charge I wasn't sure I was going to make, but that's why I backed my other knight units. Well, anyway, I made it by then. So he charges a chariot. If I can just get these guys out of the way, that can save me a lot of grief in the future. This unit concerns me a lot. I don't know yet what I want to do with them. Really, I'm hoping just to put speed bumps in front of them until I can bring enough to bear to handle that unit. Turn both archers on my left to shoot these guys. I really just need to cause 2 wounds, force a panic, and hope they fail. I cause 1 wound, and now my trebuchet is going to die because of it. Here on the right, the Razor Gore dies. The Ungors on the right flee off the table. And of course, I'm Knights Errant, so I have to overrun. All right, so we go to Beast turn 3. And yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of options. He takes his, if you look in the middle, my general kills that chariot, which is nice. If you look on the left, the paladin is exchanged wounds with a chariot. So they're just kind of sitting there. So my opponent's turn, he takes his Bestigor and charge my Grail Reliquary. And that was kind of the plan, right? Takes his chariot in there as well. Harpies are going into Trebuchet. Yeah, I'm just really curious. And this Reliquary, it can actually be really frustrating to play against. They've got I think they have like a 4-up armor, but then they have the same ward save as the Knights. And sometimes, a little bit of luck, they can just shrug off some wounds. The ambushing unit over here charges the Trebuchet. He gets the Purple Sun off, or the Purple Sun moves, or something happened like that. Anyway, it goes through my Grail Knights. Again, I should lose on average 1.5 guys, and of course I lose 3. Of course I did. This round of combat, the Paladin kills the Chariot, which is awesome, because this is my opponent's turn. That means on my turn, I can charge the flank of that unit. I can move around to the front of them and redirect them. Lots of good things there. Over here on the left, the Harpies take a wound, but they kill the Trebuchet. And on the right, these Ungor Raiders charge the Trebuchet and bounce. They do no wounds to it, and they take 2 wounds in return. That's hilarious. And then here, look at that. I think he did a total of 5 wounds. He's got a chariot coming in. I think the chariot impact hits did nothing. His Beast Lord did 1 wound. I mean, it was just an epic fail on the Beast part in this combat. So we go to Bretonnian turn 3. If you look at the top middle right, the Knights Errant charged the unit of Ungors. They had to flee. I caught them and passed as reformed. Anyway, I am like that. I decided to go ahead and start charging this Bestigor unit. I actually took the Grail Knights into the chariot and they failed the charge. If you look, the Paladin on the left is redirecting his big block of gore and going back. Otherwise, I've got my general. Oh, the Green Knight. The Green Knight came in last turn. I forgot to mention it. He came in and I put him on that hill. Forgot to mention it. So anyway, the Green Knight charges the flank of that unit. These archers charged the ambushing unit of Gore. They were already fleeing, so charged them off the table. Here's this guy taking 1 for the team. Then during the magic phase, I get the Curse of Henri here off. My opponent really didn't want it to go. He threw enough dice that he had a good, 2/3 chance of stopping it, and just rolled really poorly and didn't stop it, which was just awesome. Now he's got to make a choice. Does he let this unit just kind of stay out of the whole game, or does he lose 1/3 of the unit and have them try to do something? Anyway, we go to shooting. The archers plink a wound off the Harpies, force a panic, but they pass it, of course. The Trebuchets are doing their job. There's only 1 left, but drops a rock on the head of this unit, the Conscripts. Kills plenty. They take a panic test, and he rolls just barely enough to stay on the table. but they're away from the herd stone, so that's nice. And after combat here, yeah, it's kind of a pillow fight. He did quite a few wounds to the battle pilgrims. I just didn't do too many wounds to him. My general got in a challenge with his champion and killed him. Green Knight killed a few. The Knights are actually just lending a ton of combat res. They're not killing a whole lot. And we're just going to stick around there. So we get a Beast turn 4. And look at the left. He just says, screw it. And he charges that Gore unit into a Paladin and just loses, not a third, a half of the unit. And they've passed their panic. Oh, it's kind of funny. He takes his Harpies up to redirect my Grail Knights. He takes a Razor Gore and charges the flank of my Knights of the Realm. You look at the top middle, he rallies that unit of conscripts. So there's that. I'm not overly worried about this, but it can be a hassle. This thing, if it gets lucky, can do some wounds. Yeah, this was as good as I could hope for. I'm not really worried about this unit anymore. So we go to this battle. Now this time around, we get a new challenge, and the only one he can accept with is his general. So my general, his general, and I hit him twice, and one of those I roll a 6, and he's dead. I miss this build. And after combat, that's all she wrote. I mean, he kind of whiffed on his attacks with the battle pilgrims. I didn't. I killed a bunch of stuff, and just absolutely destroyed him in combat res. But his Razor Gore rolled Snake Eyes and stuck around. So I just had to reform with the other Knight unit. It doesn't matter because that's pretty much the game. Over here, he doesn't get a wound through on my guy, but he wins through combat res. I flee, he restrains and reforms, but again, that unit just isn't threatening anymore. We go to Bret's turn 4. Yeah, I had that combat in the middle. This just needs to play out. My Grail Knights charge the Harpies, because why not? If you look at the top middle, my Knights Errant charges Bunker unit. It looks kind of wonky. That's because my general charged his Ungors, and they landed right in front of that unit, and I could barely clip them. It was actually, if I would have moved those in the opposite order, I could have got my whole unit straight into those guys and really demolished them. But for the most part, I don't care. It's fine. This guy rallied, so that was nice. Appreciated that. After combat, no, this is the magic phase. I cast some spell and just absolutely blew up my own unit, of course. After combat, yeah, so his 2 level 1s are off the table, so his big part of his magic phase is gone. I win through combat res here, but I can't catch the Razor Gore. Of course, the Grail Knights whip up on the Harpies, and they just reform in a line. And just like, if you want to charge me, if you want to charge the Green Knight, charge him, because you aren't doing anything to him, I don't think. You want to charge the Grail Knights, do it. Let's see what happens. So what's he going to do? He charges the Grail Knights, he rallies his Razor Gore, he comes in, and these guys just go to town. They go to town. Look at all those wounds. They were just like slicing and dicing. But then I couldn't make a save to save my life. I lost 4 Grail Knights. I couldn't make a save. It was so frustrating. So we go to Bretonnian turn 5. We decide this is the last turn. What's the point? So the Green Knight and the Paladin both charge the rear of that unit with my Grails. He's just going for a moral victory now, trying to kill the last of the Grail Knights. My other Knight unit charges the Razor Gore. There's that. And after combat, we beat the Razor Gore again, but couldn't kill it, and it gets away, and it pops through the trebuchet. So even if the game were to go on, I wasn't going to be able to charge that guy again. He was either going to rally or run off the board. And over here, he couldn't quite do it. He got me down to 1 Grail Knight. I still have my Paladin, still my Green Knight, and easily broke him in combat res, ran him down, and that was the game. This game was a ton of fun. I mean, both of us approached it like we just weren't sure on a lot of the rules, and we just talked through any questions that came up, and it was all good. I really thought, hindsight being what it is, I think that a lot of his problems came because beasts have great chaff, and he threw all of his chaff out at the sides. I mean, he has his chariots in the middle, but chariots are great for a counter charge. They're not great for redirecting and stuff. And he should have won the chaff war. And I think he was either thinking he wanted those things out of the way of his main blocks, or he was focused too much on the trebuchets. And I would have made room. I would have scooted the chariots out and put those Razor Gores right next to my blocks. Razor Gores are fantastic redirectors. He had so much chaff with the Harpies and those Razor Gores that my Knights should never have got a combo charge. It should have been really frustrating for me. So I think in that way, he really kind of helped my cause. And the other thing, I don't know if it was a great move or not, but this is the decision I remember a lot. I think of when I'm like, if I'm going to be aggressive, I could just combo charge a lot of stuff here. And it was fun not doing that and just being more patient. I don't know if that was the right call or not. Certainly there was a temptation to just charge everything in. And to be honest, if this was a tournament, I probably would have, because I would not have had the confidence that we would go to 6 turns in a tournament and for the patient strategy to pay off. So, yeah, who knows. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.